Dire team are now picking.
Razor.
Radiant team.
Right, I think I've got all my settings set up. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and welcome to the Giant Bomb Community Dota 2 Tournament 2014. I'm Diz, and this is the, let me see now, 37th game in the round robin phase of our tournament between 17 teams that will all have to play each other. And this is a matchup between Hammarby and DunH8.
5 seconds.
Hammarby currently 3-0, I think. Let me just double check that
Reserve time.
statistic. Hammarby are 3-0 and they're currently 4th in the standings of the championship. And DunH8 are kind of starting off their run in this tournament, and they played one game and they didn't lose it. But they did lose it, sorry. So they're 0-1. Hammarby are 3-0, but it is early days for DunH8, so we don't really know what their potential is yet. For this game, Hammarby won the toss and elected to pick first, and DunH8 chose the Radiant side.
5 seconds remain.
And
Reserve time.
getting into the match proper, we can see some initial bans from the Dire team are Skywrath Mage and Tinker. Tinker's a very effective Radiant hero, so kind of no wonder he's been banned, and Skywrath Mage does an appalling amount of magical damage in bursts, so he's out of the match too. And
Radiant's ban.
Hammarby choose to pick Razor and Shadow Shaman as the first two picks. Meanwhile, DunH8 have banned Faceless Void and Lycan and Tide Hunter, picking up Wraith King and Nyx Assassin, which is an unusual hero to pick up in this tournament. I'm not sure that Nyx has been selected so far this tournament, but certainly a very good stealthy ganking hero, and potentially does suit the aggressive style of the early game that Dota has become in these times.
Only 10 seconds.
A couple more bans coming out, and they're picking and banning quite quickly through these stages. Ancient Apparition's been banned, and the Brewmaster. And Death Prophet's just been banned out by DunH8. Waiting for their third pick. DunH8 are. And with the Wraith King, that could
10 seconds to pick.
most likely be a carry, but can be played as a support.
5 seconds.
Wraith King does have a certain amount of utility in just dying in the middle of a team fight and slowing everyone down, and that can be a very good way to change an advantage in a team fight, so he can spring back to life with his ultimate reincarnation ability. And this third pick is taking a bit of time for DunH8 to select, and they're eating into their reserve time.
Dire team pick.
And so Viper is selected. Kind of scary hero to play against. I think it was Malini that said that he's glad that Viper didn't get picked in the International 2014 sort of facelift challenge, where they were going to facelift a hero, and they put that vote out to the community of compendium owners, and I think Faceless Void got chosen for a new facelift, and I remember Malini, who's a famous caster and now is a member of Team Zephyr, replacing Purge. Malini said that he's glad Viper didn't get a facelift, because if he had done, then more people would play him. And so he's a very scary hero to play against, especially when you're low on health, because one of his effects is that the lower you are on health, the more damage he does to you.
Hurry! Reserve time.
Doom gets picked up by Hammarby, an immensely popular hero in today's games, and although he doesn't have a direct stun of his own, he can pick up stuns off some of the jungle creeps that he may consume. So he can, as well as dooming people, he can also somewhat cast nets, perhaps, or stomp if he inherits those particular skills from a creep.
Radiance ban.
And Rubik, another hero that can stun and or lift it into the air as he does, and he can also take control of any of the spells from any of the other heroes, perhaps apart from Wraith King's Reincarnate. I'm not sure he can do that. There's maybe a few other limited spells and passives that Rubik can't pick up on, of course, but very useful hero. Dazzle
Reserve time.
gets picked by DunH8, and
Dyer's ban.
Dazzle is going to be good for their team by his armor reduction spells and keeping heroes or himself alive, and also a bit of health regen
To pick.
that he can give, and he also has a sort of a semi-stun or a slow
Hurry.
with his poison touch, which only stuns, I think, when leveled up to its maximum level.
Reserve time.
It just slows and stuns at its final level 4. Ember Spirit ban there for DunH8, and now Hammarby are considering their final ban. Easing into reserve time again, I think we might well go pretty much near the full distance with this reserve time. Witch Doctor banned,
Radiant team are now picking.
and potentially quite a troublesome hero to play against with his cask, and also Witch Doctor's healing spells could mean that this. Oh my goodness, a Meepo
Dyer
pick.
team are now picking.
Oh, that is surprising. Now Meepo, if played well, can really dominate a match, and generally is picked as the last pick because they are kind of quite a few counters maybe to a Meepo or towards the different Meepos in a team.
Seconds.
And I think Hammarby
5 seconds. Hurry.
might well
hurry.
consider their last hero a little bit with this Meepo pick.
Reserve time.
Might be a little bit surprising for them. So I'd imagine in terms of laning, we could well have Nyx Assassin as an off-laner and Viper maybe going mid. Or potentially Wraith King could work as an off-lane hero, or potentially he could work in the safe lane as some sort of protection for Meepo with his Wraithfire Blast stun. And also his aura that regenerates health to his teammates. In terms of Hammarby and their laning, I reckon it's probably Razor that'll go mid, and maybe Doom will either be the safe lane farmer, or potentially could go into the jungle. And Batrider could well be their off-lane choice. I'm not sure. Again, that we've seen Batrider in this competition. I do have a good mind to dive into all the matches that we've had so far, and see if I can pull some statistics out on heroes played and that sort of thing for future matches. I'm not sure if I could get round to it, and certainly with 136 matches and all to inspect, it might well be a job that might be a job too far for me. It's certainly interesting to see who the popular heroes are, what teams are kind of according to the current play styles in Dota,
to pick.
and what teams are kind of taking chances on heroes that aren't seen so
5
often.
seconds remain.
But as we just assign these names to heroes, I think I'll go ahead and introduce the team, and I think this is DunH8 here playing on the Radiant side,
What do you think will happen this
with Orr
time?
playing on Nyx Assassin,
Murdering one another, probably, yeah?
Gaz on the Wraith King,
Unless- yeah.
Sabi Nuts
No, I'm going
is
to go with
playing
constant
on
murder.
Dazzle, and Meepo is played by Currency, and Blue on the Viper. As they go into lane, and I can pan out to get a nice wide view of the Radiant base. Meanwhile, we have all of Hammarby moving into the top of Radiant's jungle, and Ard on Rubik, Talonis on the Batrider,
30 seconds until
Mintai
Sports.
is playing Razor, Third Eye's on the Doom, and Orim, so I'm told to pronounce that name by the knowledgeable and generous Twitch community, is on the Shadow Shaman. So DunH8
And
very
so it
much
begins.
sticking to their fountain, and they might be doing a little bit of creep herding here to pull back the creep waves
The match has begun.
on
Go
all three
forth and prove that video games are art.
lanes, and it looks like Nyx is going mid. Nice observer ward placed there by Hammarby, so they can see what's going on in the Radiant jungle. And it looks like we have an aggressive tri-lane from Hammarby. And Razor's going in the solo safe lane. Is that right? I'm not sure if my terminology is absolutely correct, but in the meantime Viper's picked up a
We
double
have
damage.
first blood.
And well, that was obviously a very aggressive manoeuvre. Sure, I just looked at the health bars, and then all of a sudden there was Meepo that went and died, and it was the Doom that picks up the first kill gold. Now Meepo working as a solo hero in this against three heroes, two of whom have stuns, is going to be a bit of a challenge. But then again, so is having Razor as a solo against Wraith King and Dazzle. So they have got stuns, and they've also got some slows. Obviously Viper has a slow inherent in his attack when he skills it up. But we do have a bit of a gank coming in here
Radiant's middle
on the
tower is
Nyx.
being attacked.
And is Batrider going to survive the tower damage? Well, he certainly does. So that's 2-0 for Hammarby,
Radiant's middle tower is taking damage.
two ganks. But now, Meepo's got to his level 3 and has spawned an extra Meepo. I don't know if that'll make him more safe in the lane, or whether that adds a little bit more risk. Because of course if one Meepo dies, they all die. And Batrider, I think, was that getting some boots delivered from the courier, perhaps? Nice pair of boots there. Bit of a stun there from Nyx, but some of his sticky napalm coming out there to just fend off any sort of counter harass from Nyx. Well, I think I should now bring up the last hits and deniers and we can see that Doom is topping this chart. Viper's not far behind though. And the battle of the mid lane, or Batrider 14 and 5 against Nyx's 9 and 1. There's a slight advantage there to the Bat. He's got 2 points now in sticky napalm. Meanwhile, we have a Rubik that's hiding there in the trees against a Meepo, so there might be something coming there, but we still have 3 heroes up in the top lane, the Shadow Shaman. I'm not sure how this gank on Meepo might develop. Not sure what's he doing there. Maybe he's just having a slash or something. Well, we have a smoke coming up here from Wraith King and from Meepo on the Batrider, but and we have Nyx coming from the front and a net from Meepo. A Wraith Fire Blast now coming in, and that was enough, but Nyx looks like she took a bit too much creep damage there. Not sure how necessary that death was for Nyx Assassin, but certainly it enabled the kill on Batrider, which was important. And sometimes you have to make some sacrifices. We have quite a concerted attack there on the Razor, who's fended it off. Got some boots, that's important for getting a bit of speed to escape with if you're playing a solo offlane or solo solid, yeah, solo player in any lane really, but you probably need an advantage of speed to get away from any potential ganks that might be coming in. Meanwhile, I have Third Eye. It's just got a little bit of extra swiftness aura and a war stomp, so he now has a stun in his armory amongst his other spells. Back there putting 4 napalm charges there, so it looks like Nyx Assassin has to back off a little bit. Doom's getting quite ahead on farm, and currency on the Meepo getting a little bit starved of it, perhaps. Not doing too bad, but I think Doom's more or less doubled or more the farm that Meepo's gotten. Now Meepo's doomed, and he's been lifted by Rubik. We do have a TP in on the Radiant side with Dazzle, and is Meepo going to survive the Doom? Yes, just about. And a nice heal up there by Wasabi Nut. Playing Dazzle, and Meepo's perfectly okay from that little encounter. Well survived. I just have a solo match up with Viper and Razor, and Razor doesn't use the ultimate, doesn't level up his ultimate ability just yet, even though he is level 6. He thinks more utility will come from the static link and the plasma field spells. And of course, Eye of the Storm, the Razor ultimate ability, really does come into some amazing extra power. If you can get by an Aghanim Scepter for Razor, then it does damage to towers, and it does shocking damage to your opposition heroes. But for now, it looks like the mid's been left to Rubik, so he can maybe get a little bit of XP. He can get past his level 4. And he's just had some sentry walls delivered, so definitely doing a good job in support. Orim looks to be hiding in the trees, and I think there might be a little possibility of a gank incoming on the Viper. Maybe if this creep wave can get pulled up. So Orim successfully kind of pulled that wave. The Viper's not. I don't think he's taking the bait. Oh well, maybe he is. He's having a look in the jungle, seeing if there is any.
Dire's bottom tower under fire.
If there is any threat, but see if he can leech maybe some experience from these creeps, because every creep dies. When they die, though, I think they give a little bit of XP in the area they are in. No, that gank didn't develop. Sometimes you stay on the fights that you think are going to happen, and it isn't always so. I mean, it kind of shows that these teams are playing judiciously. 1 and 3 at the moment. I think there's a slight advantage to Hammarby, but no towers have gone down so far. There's plenty of scope for both teams to win this match still.
Tower is taking damage.
And I think we've had a Batrider Firefly, but we have DunH8 coming up and they're blasting Razor. And they're running off, but Shadow Shaman is casting a shock. Dazzle tried to Shadow Grave, but it didn't last that long, and they managed to put an end to Dazzle. 1 versus 1, Dazzle against Razor going down, and so maybe there's a slight advantage to DunH8 there, getting rid of Razor in return for Dazzle, but now Bat comes in and has Bat got his blink already. Crikey. Yep. Blank has it. Batrider has his blink, and he used that on Viper and pulled him into the rest of the team. And of course, Bat, once he gets his blink, is really effective at ganking. And it looks like the top tower here is about to go down.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And Meepo and Nick's Assassin are trying to fend off the Shadow Shaman whilst the creeps attack bottom tower. Orim's just teleported from the fight at the top. But will there be any support incoming? It looks like the Radiant Heroes have backed off a little bit though. Razor going mid. Still level 8, and we've got a fully kitted out Q and W skills, or the first 2 skills, the Plasma Field and Static Link, and I think I've just missed a kill there on Shadow Shaman.
Dominating. Double kill.
And Meepo starting to get a couple of kills there with the Batrider and the Shadow Shaman going down out of my sights, so apologies for that stream. So this match is getting quite close. There was a initial advantage to Hammarby, but now their XP is around 1,000. That's really not much at all, and around 3,000. But the curve of the graph is going back towards the centre. So things are pretty level. 4 kills to 5. But we have a doomed Meepo. And Viper has gone down as well there, so something else I've missed out on.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
That looked like Wraith King was just about to let rip with a Wraith Fire Blast, but I think that was a cancelled
Radiant's bottom tower
attack.
Demolished.
In the meantime, the bottom tower's gone now. Dire have taken that with some Serpent Wards. Radiant are seeing what they can do to push top. I think they're maybe coming back down to mid, perhaps. No, maybe not. They're making an attempt on the
Dire have
top tower.
Their towers. Dire's top tower is under siege.
And so the Hammarby have used their glyph. Whilst Shadow Shaman can teleport up to the tower. But Meepo is still waiting there behind some trees, out of sight. And the thing with Meepo is that he can, with his very early boots of travel purchased, he can jump in and out. But there's a huge fight going on in the mid that I don't want to miss out on. And we have Third Eye going down, but Meepo's got down too. And none of the Dire team quite go down, and as a result of that, the Wraith King and Viper are in a little bit of trouble, and they're being chased. Batrider and Razor running after them. Razor just catches Viper there with the edge of his plasma field and backs off Viper's hiding in the trees, but that really gives the Dire team, even though they're a little bit low on health, to take advantage of the Radiant absence. They're taking that tower down, and that is going to change the certainly the gold graph a little bit more. We can see 7,500 gold against the Radiant team at the moment. Some mass Serpent Wards coming out, so potentially this tower would certainly be taken down to maybe half health, if not all the way down. Yes, it's well, and Dire moving back. They're not going to push their attack any more than they need to, I think, at this stage.
Dire's bottom tower under fire.
And Wraith King Nix and Viper and Dazzle feeding off these wards.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
And Nintai spotted that low Dire tower and just went in, denied the goal to the Radiant team. Double damage rune being picked up, but Nix is invis. And Bat just blinks out in time with his bottle with a double damage in it. But Nix, being the sort of kind of solo ganking hero that he is following on, checking him out. But you can't, if you're Nix Assassin, be invisible for all the time, and eventually his invisibility fades and Batrider finds him. And it looks like the Dire team Hammarby are on the attack again. Dazzle goes down, and I think that was a Wraith King was doomed there, perhaps. And he went down too, so we have Hammarby now
Dire's top tower is under siege.
in the early part of the mid game, or the late part of the early game, seeming to take the team fights that have been had, and subsequently have got 10,000 gold and an over 5,000 XP advantage. And it's time for Roshan. Is there any indication of this to the Radiant team? I'm not sure. I'm not sure they'd know. They don't have the warding up at the moment, but we have a sentry ward placed by the Dire team that might well have got rid of any Radiant observers that had been there. And Team Hammarby are warding very well. They can see the positioning here of Team DunH8 with that observer. And that wasn't really in doubt. Roshan was going to go down, and who's managed to pick up the Aegis? Well, that's Razor. who now has got 2 points in his Eye of the Storm spell. So when there is a team fight and Hammarby are all clumped up together, the damage that this Eye of the Storm can dish out, and I think Eye of the Storm by default will pick on the lowest health heroes or enemy creeps. So if you're kind of low on health, then Eye of the Storm's even worse for you in a team fight than it would be otherwise. So that may well become more important as the game goes on, and as maybe an Ag Scepter is brought out for Razor. But we can see a pick off here for Dazzle. Quite a nice back rider gank with a blink in and then lasso, and pulls him towards Razor. Razor now 3, 1 and 5. Has some drums and a point booster, which is indicative that the Ags is on his shopping list, perhaps. Well, Meepo versus Doom. Meepo was netted, but of course the Serpent Wars didn't help Meepo with Shadow Demon, Shadow Shaman helping out Doom there and getting a kill on Meepo again. And let me just have a quick look at the hero levels on this chart. Whilst potentially Hammarby are going to sniff out the T2 top lane tower from DunH8. We can see that Meepo is a real experience hog. That's potentially a problem with Meepo because each of his Meepos do share experience, and they share it in the same way that your other team members would get it. So Meepo ends up getting a lot of experience, and often that can be at the expense of your fellow heroes levelling up, unless you kind of, as Meepo, keep away from them, maybe. But it's not all, you know, I mean, one of the reasons why Meepo isn't picked constantly in games is potentially because he's obviously the first one to level 25 normally, and sometimes that can make the rest of the team suffer by not sharing that. Anyway, all that discussion aside, we have an attack here on the T3 tower, protecting the barracks in the centre lane. And of course, Radiant will defend this, and Dire team are backing off. I'm not sure they want to battle uphill. Which is the primary Meepo. Meepo casting his nets, but the Serpent Walls have been thrown down, and one of the Meepos has been dragged out by Batrider and being slapped about by the whole Dire team, and they've gone down. But Dazzle in the meantime has cast a bit of negative armour on Doom that's had to go off, but Doom in turn has Doom Viper, but that's worn off now. But have a concerted attack on Doom. He just escapes by the skin of his teeth. But the T3's gone down, and now the barracks are being attacked. Razor already has now the elements for his Aghanim Scepter, and I'm sure they're either going to be delivered shortly, or he's going to return to base to fetch them. Now, are they going to hang around for the other tower, for the range tower? No. They've backed off. They're showing, some discipline, if you can call it that. Some strategy. They're not going to just go all out and try and, kill enemy heroes as many times as possible. This is, after all, a game about taking objectives. And no matter how many kills you get, as long as you kill the Ancient at the end of it, then that makes you the winner. Bat in the jungle is a very effective jungler, especially if he prepares the jungle creeps with his sticky napalm and then draws his trail of fire between the various creep camps. He can quickly clear out a jungle. if he desires to. Now, Wraith King, who's level 8 at the moment, has a smoke, some boots and a wand. Dazzle with some utility items and a ward. And Meepos sharing their boots of travel. And again, Meepos, another amazing Aghanim Scepter carrier.
Dire's top tower is being attacked. Dire's structures are fortified.
Batsnow's pulling one of the Meepos back and pulling them into Rubik, but there's a net coming out. Can they survive that fire of the bat? No, they can't. That's a Meepo gone, and I think that's now TP'd down to the bottom tower. And to the T3 protecting the bottom barracks, and it looks like that's under threat now. They might wait for this next creep wave to come in, and then Razor could potentially ult. Or maybe they're just playing a little bit safer when they know that Meepo's still out, but only for another couple of seconds, then he's back in play. And making sure they've got enough mana between them. Team Hammarby before they go in. But Bat's got his fire, he's blinking in again and pulling another hero out. And this time it is Dazzle, and Dazzle just rocks. But Doom's gone in, but I think the Wraithfire bot's got him, but in turn the static link and multiple damage sources have done the Wraith King, but he died and then came back to life and then got burst down again. And Nick's invisible, but this is too much for DunH, and they've done the decent thing and GG'd. So Hammarby there with a deserved victory, and yeah, very well played by Team Hammarby. They do continue to impress. They haven't dropped a game in this series so far, and yep, very good game. I really enjoyed watching that. I didn't enjoy missing some of the kills, obviously, and I apologise profusely to people watching this video about that. But oh, I need to respond here. We'll just get out of thing. And I wonder if there's any protestations coming out from the from Gaz, who's the leader of Team DunH. No, well, the only thing really I wanted to finish off by saying is that there are plenty of games on this weekend. I think we have at least 3 more scheduled, or provisionally scheduled, should I say, that may well happen, or very likely to happen, that teams have agreed, and we're just going through the confirmation process. And certainly I think there's a game at 1 AM UK time, which is obviously 2 AM Europe time, and goodness, I'm not sure what time that is in American time zones, but Gaff are playing, who are Freaking Chairs Fraud Squad, who are last year's winners and a hot contender for this year. I'm not sure they've dropped a game as yet, and I think they've played 6 matches, and they'll be playing later tonight. So keep an eye on the Giant Bomb Community Dota Tournament sites and our Giant Bomb Community Dota Challenge webpage for plenty more matches, because I think there's at least 99 more of them to come up, and that's only in this stage, and that's before we get onto the double elimination. So thanks for watching, and well, I'll hope to speak to you all soon. Cheers. I've been Diz. Thanks. Bye.